Hi, and welcome to Rosebread Homestead, where we are getting ready for our Thanksgiving challenge. We are going to do our Thanksgiving dinner completely off-grid this year, and I mean completely off-grid. And so I have to do a little bit of practicing, and I thought, my gosh, I'll just bring you along for some of that practicing, and you can see how I convert some of our recipes over to off-grid. And so I've not done it this way before with these recipes. And so this is going to be an experiment, but you know me, I love experiments. So let's get started. Now, we may do 2, possibly 3 videos about our off-grid Thanksgiving dinner because all the preparations won't fit into one video. And we're going to try not to bore you. And the ultimate outcome of this is that I'm already working on an off-grid holiday meals book. And so I'm not sure how soon I'll have that done, but it may be sooner than we thought. So that's what I'm sort of doing in the background with this. Today we're going to work with potatoes. I have sweet potatoes, and I think these are sweet potatoes. I like the orange ones. So the orange sweet potatoes, whether they're yams or sweet potatoes, I don't really care. These are the ones that I like. Now, what we're going to do with these is I usually do some kind of a sweet potato dish. And sometimes it's candied sweet potatoes with marshmallows in the traditional. Other times, I did in a previous video, Hasselback butternut squash. And so I'm using what I learned when I did that video with the butternut squash, and I'm going to try some Hasselback sweet potatoes. And this is how I'm going to plan to do it. And we're going to be doing, I'm going to cram 2 kinds of potatoes into this 10-inch Lodge Dutch oven. When I actually do it for Thanksgiving Day, each of these potatoes will have its own Dutch oven. They'll probably be stacked. And we'll kind of show that on Thanksgiving. So I started with kind of a fat little medium-sized sweet potato, and I sliced it right down the middle. And then, if Jim can come in for a close-up, I have, with a paring knife, just slit little slices, but not all the way through. And so this is the Hasselback part. Now, right now, this is quite stiff, but as it cooks, it's going to open up. And I have prepared kind of a glaze that's going to go over the top of these and hopefully will ease its way down inside. And so this is whole berry cranberry sauce mixed with some ghee and some orange juice and some orange zest and pecans. It really is lovely. Now, the cranberry sauce that I am using is about 3 years old, and so it has turned a little bit brown. It's home canned. If you were doing this with fresh cranberry sauce, it would be very much redder. And so I'm kind of trying to get it to go down in by pulling the layers apart. Doesn't look like it's going to do that very well. So that may be a problem. I don't know. But now what we're going to do is I'm just going to wrap this in foil to seal everything in. And that will help steam, it will help open up those crevices, and hopefully that little glaze will go in. And then I'm just going to put these right down just like that. So I'll quickly do the other one, which now has a hole in it. So I'm going to do this. Now we are just having 2 of my children over, and my grandson with his wife and 2 children are going up north. So it will just be 6 adults. We'll miss my grandson and his family, but it will be 6 adults. So I'm probably going to do 6 of these. And so they will require their own Dutch oven. Okay, so we'll get this one all sealed up. Now, by tucking them underneath here, it elevates them just a little bit off the bottom of this Dutch oven. So I'm going to set this aside, And then the other potatoes that I do potatoes several ways, several different ways for Thanksgiving ordinarily. And, you know, I usually bake them in the oven, but I'm not going to have my electrical oven. And so we will be outside doing our outdoor off-grid kitchen. So I'm trying something just a little bit different with these potatoes. You know, for holidays, it's always nice to have familiar foods, but to make them just a little bit fancy. And that's kind of what I like to do. So these are gold potatoes, not Yukon Gold. It's another different kind of a gold potato. Very thin skins. And because these are thin skins, I'm not going to peel them. Why peel them? I always hated peeling potatoes at Thanksgiving or Christmas. For our very large family when I was growing up, we would have 30 or 40 people for Thanksgiving. And I usually got stuck with peeling potatoes, which I hate. So I'm leaving the peels on these, and I'm just going to run this through my mandolin very quickly. I'm going to try to get this done quickly so that they don't turn black. And so these are just going to go lined up around the edge here, sort of like that. And I will fill a whole big Dutch oven with these potatoes, not just the little bit that we're going to do today. And these work beautifully. I love the yellow flesh of these. And I hope that these turn out golden brown, sort of crispy on the edges. We'll see. I'll probably only have to do about one more potato. These are washed and scrubbed. And that's probably enough for our experiment. All right, now with this, and I hope this doesn't, what I'm going to do, I hope it doesn't interfere with the sweet potatoes that are right here. This is ghee that I brought to very hot, almost boiling, and then I just dropped in some fresh rosemary. We love rosemary, just love it. And so this is rosemary, it's rosemary herbed butter. And so I'm just going to put that on the top. Let those little rosemary pieces filter right in. That was about a half a cup for this many potatoes. Oh, I don't need these anymore. And then I'm going to kind of separate it so that the butter gets down in there. Then I am going to sprinkle liberally with salt. And with pepper. Okay, so our double experiment now is ready to go out on the coals. This is a 10-inch Dutch oven. Looking up in the Lodge Dutch oven cooking booklet, for a 10-inch, if we want it at 350, that requires 21 charcoal, 7 on the bottom and 14 on the top. Now, one of the things that Jim and I have found in our experience is that where that might be a good starting place, we generally have to add more than that to get things done. So we're going to put this out there. I'm guessing it's going to be about 45 minutes for it to get done once it comes up to temperature. I have a little thermometer that I'm going to put in there so we can monitor the temperature, and I will meet you outside.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour these out on the grill, not the grill, but the table. And we're going to go ahead and put, what's it, 7?
Yeah, 7 on the bottom, 14 on the top.
Okay, and I'll probably have to start some more. So I will go ahead and do that and be back with you in a minute.
7 on the bottom, 14 on the top.
Okay, so 7 on the bottom, 14 on the top, and we'll have to separate those out. So Pam is going to go ahead and do that.
Okay, so here we go. And so that we can monitor the internal temperature.
Probably back over for a moment so we can see.
Okay. All right, we are 69 degrees, 70 inside. So it'll be a little while before we get up to 350. We'll continue monitoring it. We may bring you back midway as we check it. So we will see you soon. This was out there exactly 45 minutes and it never made it up to 350. But everything is done. It was very sizzly. You can take a look here to see the potatoes look really nice. So I'm just going to take a serving of the potatoes and put them out on this plate so that we can see them a little bit better. And I think they look great. They're very soft. They did brown some on the edges, which was nice. Now I'm going to lift out one of the sweet potatoes and see how it did. Oh, if you look right in here, it looks like at the bottom we did get some potatoes that got a little bit crusty. So that's one thing I need to note. We need to be careful with that. But the ones out here on the edges seem to be just fine. They did get a little bit crusty, but some of us really like potatoes like that, so that's not a problem. So let's just gently unwrap this. And I wasn't sure these would be done, but I gave it the fork test. Stuck a fork in and everything was, ooh, this smells really, really good. Okay, so these looks to me like the glaze did not get down very much in the crevices. So one of the things that I will do on Thanksgiving Day, there's enough glaze on the top and there's butter in here with the flavoring and it smells delicious. One of the things I will do for Thanksgiving Day is I'm going to make this glaze runnier. So I will make it more liquidy with orange juice and with a little bit more butter so that it might get down in the glaze just a little, in the cracks just a little bit more. So I'm just going to take a quick taste and see. We want to be sure that these are suitable for a Thanksgiving meal. Oh, these are just as tender as can be. So 45 minutes was perfect. And Jim, what was the temperature? Did it ever get up even to 250?
No.
So
215.
About 215. These are chewy on the edge and very soft in the middle. So it's an interesting combination. They're very mashable. I think we could easily serve gravy with these, so people could mash them if they wanted. I may rethink this. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about this for a little bit. They're very good. The rosemary herbed butter just gives a delightful flavor. Now let's give this a try. See how this is. These are not so soft, so it will be good to cook these in separate pans because it's going to take these just a little bit longer than it does the gold potatoes. Needs salt. I'll add that to the recipe. You know, with them prepared like this with the glaze on the top, and I will like this redder. So I may make a fresh batch. I will make a fresh batch of cranberry sauce, so this is much redder on the top. Add a little bit of salt to it. It doesn't need to go down in the little crevices. With this glaze on the top, you get it when you take a fork bite of it anyway. I may not even do the Hasselback. That was wasted effort. They're fantastic. They're just wonderful. And so I think that's exactly what I'll do. I'll slit them in half like this, put the glaze on the top, wrap them in foil, and cook them just the way we did. And they will be just perfect. The potatoes, I'm very pleased with the taste. And even with the texture, if somebody wants mashed potatoes instead of these little sliced potatoes, the way these are cooked, it would be very easy to mash and add some gravy. All right, well, I think we do have a success. I'm really glad that I'm trying these out and not trying to do it on Thanksgiving Day. I'll have to try out everything before we go off grid on regular recipes. It takes some adjustment if we want to achieve kind of the very same thing that we're used to with holiday meal preparation. It takes some adjusting to do it off grid. And not only that, it would take individualized adjusting depending on how we chose to do it. If I chose to do these in my propane oven, I would have to try that out separately because this trial wouldn't work for that because it's a totally different way of cooking. So learning how to cook off grid is a little bit trial and error as you go, but figuring that out now before we're compelled to do it because of circumstances is really a good choice. So I'm having a great time experimenting with this, and I'm taking notes in my journal so that I can make sure that I work this into the recipes that I'm going to be putting in our holiday meals book. So watch for that. I'm hoping I might be able to get it out before Christmas, but we'll see how it goes. So thanks for participating with us in our experiment today in getting ready for Thanksgiving, and we will see you soon at our next video.